What's the dumbest misunderstanding you've had with a student? I was teaching high school chemistry when I noticed one of my students, Jake, was consistently bombing every lab experiment. The kid wasn't lazy or inattentive. He actually had one of the highest written test scores in the class. His homework was thorough, his conceptual understanding was solid, and he clearly paid attention during lectures. But when it came to practical lab work, disaster every single time. His titrations were wildly off. Precipitate tests failed. pH indicators? Forget about it. The rest of the class would be getting nice, clean results while Jake stood there staring at a beaker with a look of deep confusion and mild betrayal. At first, I chalked it up to nerves. Maybe he was rushing. Maybe he overthought the hands-on stuff. I started observing him more closely during lab sessions, quietly watching from across the room. One day, we were doing a basic acid-base titration. Very straightforward. The goal was to add just enough base to an acidic solution with phenolphthalein indicator to reach a pale pink endpoint. I passed Jake's station and stopped in my tracks. His solution was bright purple. "Jake," I asked gently, "did you add the indicator?" "Yes, sir. 3 drops, like you said." "Did you calibrate the burette?" "Absolutely." "Double-check your measurements?" "Twice." I stood there scratching my head. Everything sounded right. His technique looked fine. He was precise, even careful. And yet his results were consistently wrong. Not just slightly off, but clearly, visibly wrong. This kept happening. Different experiments, same story. Something always went sideways during the color change step. Weeks went by, and every lab ended the same way. Jake frowning at his results. Me scratching my head. Both of us confused. Then came parent-teacher conferences. Jake's mom sat down, and we started going over his grades. I mentioned how strange it was that his lab performance didn't match his theoretical knowledge. She raised an eyebrow. "Well, you know Jake's colorblind, right?" I blinked. "Wait, what?" "Red-green colorblind. It's not super severe, but he struggles to distinguish shades, especially with pinks, purples, greens." Everything suddenly made sense. All those failed titrations, missed indicators, botched color endpoints, he literally couldn't see them. For months, I'd been grading him on experiments where the entire assessment relied on a color change he couldn't even perceive. The next morning, I pulled him aside. "Jake," I said, "your mom mentioned something yesterday. You're colorblind?" He nodded. "Yeah, red-green. It's not a big deal." I stared at him. "Jake, you know phenolphthalein turns from clear to pink, right?" He looked at me, completely sincere. "I mean, I always kind of thought we were just guessing. Like, the color change thing? I figured it was a trick question and everyone just pretended to know." This kid had spent nearly a year thinking everyone was faking their way through chemistry. No wonder he looked stressed during labs. He thought the entire subject was a massive bluff he hadn't been let in on. That day, I paired him with another student and adjusted his lab rubrics to account for his color perception. I created alternate instructions that focused more on timing, quantity, and procedural accuracy rather than visual cues. I added descriptive notes, like "stop when your partner sees the first hint of pink," and gave him tools like colored filters and written references. His grades immediately improved. More importantly, his confidence skyrocketed. He started contributing more during group work. He smiled more. He even started volunteering answers during labs.